All right, welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz, everybody. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. How you doing? All right. Okay, boy, do I have something special for you guys today. You see Michael Bogart on here every week with me from 21st Century Faith and mindcuisine.com. But boy, I got the Reverend Nugent in town. I thought it'd be interesting to hear them talk it up a little bit. Billy, let's bring him in. Michael, how are you, buddy? How's it going?
Hey.
This is Tommy Nugent. We call him Reverend Nuge. Tell him a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I was raised Baptist, then I turned Pentecostal, then I went to Jim and Tammy Faye Baker's Bible College, where I cast demons out of classmates once in a while. Then I became a youth minister. Then I fornicated my way to atheism after that.
That's the short of it, especially that other part. You want to tell Tommy a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've been in Christian ministry for 40 years. Went to Denver Seminary, getting a doctorate from Liberty University at the moment, and I have a nonprofit where we help people understand how that Christian faith is relevant in the 21st century.
Right. Were you raised in your faith?
No.
No? What happened? How did you come to faith?
Do you remember the Jesus movement? I don't know, maybe a little
I knew
bit.
of it. It was a little before my time.
Right, before your time. I came to Christian faith in 1972. I mean, I was
What
raised...
year was Jesus Christ Superstar?
It was close to that time.
It was about that time. A lot of people were
60s,
jumping over to that boat.
I was actually raised in sort of a mainline Christian denomination background, but I came to active, I guess you'd say, evangelical faith during the Jesus movement, and it really stuck with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so, it's been a long journey since then. I've been a pastor, and I did campus ministry, and I've taught Christian leaders in developing countries and things like that. So.
Well, I'm on campuses a lot. Do you find, like I see from even my generation, I went to college in the late 80s, early 90s, that it seemed to be a big slope off of young people that believe in traditional religion at all.
And I think one of the reasons I have this nonprofit is because the Millennial Generation, the 18 to 35-year-olds really is, I guess you'd say, stepping out of active Christian faith. I mean, they haven't all lost their faith, but many of them are stepping out of any kind of organized active faith. So it's something that, at least from my perspective, somebody needs to spend some energy on.
Well, it takes time. Yeah, I mean, it can't be a part-timer, right? You got to put a lot of time into being a Christian.
Well, you should be. If you're going to be a Christian, it should be who you are and not just a Sunday thing, obviously.
Right. Well, now there's Netflix and Facebook and all that other stuff. It takes a lot of time too.
Yeah, I'd do it if I could only be Sundays. That'd be cool. But yeah, the whole all the time thing, that wouldn't work for me at all.
So, Tony, tell me a little bit more about your path, because you were way into it, man. You were gonna be this guy.
Yeah, except I made a run at it. I really liked it, but what happened, I asked myself this question through a whole lot of stuff that happened that made me kind of question and felt removed from my community a little bit. But I asked myself the question, is there even a chance that this is all hogwash, we'll say? And just with that question, I had never considered the possibility, because I was raised in it from 5 years old to whenever, and I never questioned it. And just thought, why do I really believe the stories I hear in the Bible? They sound fantastical. I've never seen 900-year-old men building arcs over 150. Well, he was only 650, so I don't want to overestimate the silliness of that.
No, it was 650 when he built the ark?
I think when it was finished, somewhere around there. And if I hadn't been raised in this, would I believe these stories, the talking snakes, the talking donkeys, the people dying and magically coming back to life? And I kind of went, no, I don't think as an adult I would go, yeah, that makes sense. And I imagine you deal with versions of that when you're trying to talk to people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we live in a scientific age where everything's got to be proved and everything's got to be rational and everything's got to be something that inside our experience makes sense. And so people are objecting to it for very much the same reasons that I think you came to faith. And I guess my contention is that if I had to rely on my own experience, to understand everything, then I'd be pretty lost. I tend to believe that reality is a lot bigger than what people really can process themselves. And so I have no problem with some of the miracles and that sort of thing.
So you believe them, that they actually literally happened as presented?
Yeah, I do. I believe that the reason why they're presented as such fantastic things is because they were. Yeah.
Well, like my story to me, the one I kind of will come back to, is in Mark, where it tells a story that when Jesus died, that at that moment, an entire graveyard full of people rose back to life and then walked back to their hometown and then went on with the lives that they had been living before they had died. And I just think that that would have made the news. I think but it would have been more than just one little half a verse in Mark. Even the other gospel writers didn't touch it. So why would I believe that story when I have no evidence of anything like that ever happening in the history of mankind?
And you're right, it's a single verse. In fact, I preached a sermon on that. I had never heard a sermon on that verse before in my life, so I thought, well, I better preach it, you know. So there's not much to go on there. And it's true that you don't find any mention of that in the other Gospels or any other kind of ancient literature. What you do find, though, is odd little, I guess you'd say, confirmations of a lot of the incidents or you know, facts or whatever, statements made in the Gospels in secular sources of the time. You find a few of those. Enough, I think, to give some confidence that the Gospel writers weren't blowing smoke.
I don't know, though. I mean, you could present 5 facts. You could have a source that recounts 5 historical facts, and then they throw in, though, you know, then a magical dinosaur ate an alien in front of me, and you don't go, well, those other 5 facts were right. I'm going with that one.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Some of it has to be taken on faith. My contention is that there's enough evidence backing up what the gospel writers say to for me to go ahead and believe that they're not just trying to pull the wool over our eyes or mistaken or ignorant or something like that.
Look, what kind of evidence?
Can I say this? I think that this conversation happens with you guys and other people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time, and it's not just the Reverend Nugent just coming in here and questioning you, and you're backing it up with what you believe in. But it to me, just sitting here listening to it, it's just very, very, very interesting. But before we run out of time, I don't want people to miss out on this, because I watched it.
You did?
I watched it.
Good for you,
I think
Chuck.
it's very, very amazing. For people that want to get to know the Bible, whether they believe it or not, this is the way to do it right here. Right. It's 45 minutes. You go all the way through the Bible. It would take me a year if I wanted to read it, because you read a lesson a day, right?
Right, and you know, Chuck, what I did with this is I tried to do this as a professor would. I tried to make this kind of non-biased. This is what's in the Bible. Obviously, I believe the Bible, but you could watch this and come away saying, oh, okay, I understand what's in it, without feeling like you've been preached at. So that was my idea.
Well, there it is. And if you guys want to get the 45-minute Bible on DVD or some of his other DVDs, like Understanding Islam, Understanding Mormonism, go to mindcuisine.com.
Yep, that's right. Mindcuisine.com under Products tab, and we're right there.
Awesome. So, did you have fun today?
I did.
Did you?
This was a surprise, Chuck.
I told you it was going to be a surprise. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stick around.